I'd like to say that I have a problem in my life for people um, where higher ups come in and interact in my life, and there's a big cluster fudge cake. That's what I call it. And there's conflict of interest, and they usually blame me because, like, beat the poor boy. But I can't serve them all at the same time. Their interests conflict. I thought it would make a very interesting play if they would have somebody average in the middle who was going through all this stuff, like just going through it, not really show their scope. And I thought about trying to write it, but I have a hard time writing now. I have a hard time with a lot of things due to my memory problems. But having people above them, like saying all these really technical words and stuff, when that's obviously not what's happening to this person who's just like an ordinary person or who's stupid or something, and just make them all look like fools, because that's what ends up happening. Now I'll cut some people some slack, like Strawberry again. She's socially above me too, because she's proven all this stuff. And I think that Putin was being a jerk too, because he realized I had attracted all these people, but he didn't need to do that. I do that just naturally. I will attract them, and he just needed to ignore me, and then my cause would have eventually gone to the great scribble of the internet. But anyway, I would like him to take some time out of his busy schedule, since he's taken time in the past. And I'm not confused. I don't think I'm talking to people on the internet who are not him. I don't think I've ever talked with him on the internet. I think he's talked at me through his intelligence agency and stuff like that. So I'm asking that they take time out of their busy schedule to, and I know that he knows about me because he did name his dog Buffy at my request. So he has heard of me before and he's interacted with me. And you're like, but that was that 5-year-old boy, and that's who named his dog Buffy. Well, if you look up Return of the Ramble 3 Buffy in Google, you can see that I named his dog Buffy. Okay, it doesn't take rocket science to figure this out. And as far as labeling me delusional and stuff, I have been delusional in the past. I'm not really delusional anymore. I suffer from cognitive things. I just think it's weird. Humorous when people label me delusional again. I think it would make a great screenplay to have all these, quote, super intelligent people come in and try to explain what's happening when that's obviously not what's happening. I mean, I know there was one point when MIT students, I believe they were MIT students, wrote a bunch of like really technical words and stuff, and then they turned it in and it was absolute gibberish, and they ended up getting grant money or something, like kind of like something along that line, because it's just ridiculous what happens to me. So he can take time out of his busy schedule, or his intelligence agency can take time out of their busy schedule. They invited themselves in before, they can invite themselves in again, and they can fix my brain. I know they can. They have technology to get rid of cancer with viruses, and they have a bunch of other technology. They can fix me. And look at this, I'm getting pencil all over me because I drew this. Isn't it beautiful? I do that when I'm just sitting, because I have a hard time, like, yeah, it keeps me focused because I have a hard time with that sometimes. But anyway, yeah, so he can fix my brain so I can be a productive member of society. Now I'm going to have a hard time crawling out of this hole that everyone's helped me get into, and I say help me because I also help myself, but it was not 100% me, so don't think you can just blame me for all this. But I had to use my name on the internet and a bunch of other things to try to survive. So that's going to be a giant hole that I have to crawl out of. I've already lost numerous relationships to it because they don't want to be around me because they think that I'm crazy or that something bad happened to me. Like I said, I've been delusional in the past, but I'm not delusional at the moment. I mean, obviously not. When you're delusional, you say things like, don't get super smart, or you become schizophrenic, turn black, and die. Okay, it doesn't make any sense when you're delusional. When my brain scrambles, it does not make any sense whatsoever. Okay, so I'm obviously lucid. Um, yes, it's okay. And I just explain it over and over again because I want my brain to get fixed. So just, I don't know, the FBI came and everybody came, and they always do in my life, and nobody believes us because they live in a little bubble, and they're like, well, it couldn't happen to me, or it didn't happen to me, so it didn't happen to her. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, if you can't prove that something isn't a delusion, how can you say that it is a delusion? You can prove that something is a delusion if it is a delusion. But if it's something that's really happened, I mean, it could have happened. Just trust me on this. Okay, so, yeah, I just want my brain fixed. Nanny, nanny, boo boo.